It's another hood nigga production, yo.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Youth Talk, brought to you by the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan Arts Museum in collaboration with East Apple Productions. Behind me, I have a panel that I would like to introduce, or they would rather introduce themselves. Thank you. I will start on my right side, please.
Hi, my name is Mbongeni, stage name Dominus Litis. Dominus Litis belongs to a movement that goes by the name Eve's Apple. Eve's Apple is a movement changing the world 2 years at a time.
Hi everyone, my name is Sinelizwi, born from East London. Sinelizwi, a name that was given to me by my parents, meaning that we have the word of God. So I'm a musician, I play the guitar and I sing. So when I sing, I would like to change people's lives through my music. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ellubedine. I'm a spoken word artist and the author of my first anthology, The Diary of Love and Pain. I'm also the founder of Little Minds Read.
Good morning, Kuyabona. I am a spoken word artist and I'd like to refer to myself as a cinematic poet because I believe in making movies through poems. I'm also commonly known as Sihle Not, a poet and a poetic, and I believe in creating artwork formed from the soul that is meant for the soul.
Hi everybody, my name is your cousin Kim. I'm also known as Dominus. I'm a human rights activist and also a gender inclusion LGBT activist. I work in schools, teaching sensitization with learners and also making sure that the words of the LGBT community are understood.
Molweni, ukulinganayo. My name is Anelisa Buwa from Sihle Social Inclusion. I'm an activist. I am Sifiso Macozoma, known as Gogo Khanyisa, a healer, a medium, and
Thank you so much. That was our panel. And to start off, we are going to have a performance by our lady, Ellubedine, who's going to be doing poetry. Please take it away, Sisi.
Okay, this poem is titled Nothing Changed. You once told me I could walk on walls, conquer stars. One day the human race will move beyond the star and find meaning in the ground spine, free of hate and all of the madness you have made. But your stitches a tattoo you embrace. My heels feels the bitter taste of ancient grudges. My mind a man with healthy crutches. Wings could reach high from the earth to the sky. Instead, I landed on the surface. If my soul was in your soul space, I would pass the password that unlocks the worst in me. The anger and hate I corrugate. My eyes pour out sand. A divided nation I grip in my hand. Surrounded by earthquake, we're not moving forward because in the past you stayed.
Thank you so much. That was our beautiful lady, Ellubedine. We have, in our panel, we have identified pieces in the art museum that our panel has identified with and relates to rather Our first question now will go to you, my lady, about the piece that we have identified in the museum. It's a piece by Nels Coetzee in his art piece called Passage. Yes, in this piece, it said that he mounted a gun to create this piece. What is it that attracted you to the piece?
So when I actually saw the piece, it looked like someone that is standing steadfast. And he's actually, in his piece, there's like a hollow piece inside that actually shows me that there's a void. So the piece is called Passage. So I was like, okay, this indicates that there is in fact no material substance, but there's a void. But at certain angles, you can actually see that from other area, you can actually see that there's a solid piece. So this person, Niels Coetzee, when he mounted the piece, he stood steadfast, and that is exactly what we as youth should stand for something.
Thank you so much, Nobi. Yes, my second question is, do you think that as the youth, do we have time to be young and be free? Or since we're still struggling, the struggles of those who lived before us, the youth before us, do you think we have a chance to be free? Do we have a chance to be free and live and be young without those struggles? Do we stand a chance, or are we still going to fight the struggles?
I could answer that with a question. When I saw Passage, the question that I raised was, are we past that age? Are we past that age? Because like all of the struggles that the youth of the generation of 1976, we're still facing the exact same things. But in that way, we have to stand up firm and stand for something.
Thank you. That was our sister Luby, speaking about the piece by Nels Coetzee titled Passage. Yes. Coming to our sister Sinelizwi, The Voice. Yes. There's a piece by Nandi Pam Tambo. It depicts a clash between two females. It's titled The Fighter. What is it that attracted you to the piece?
Okay, so what attracted me to the piece? Okay, so the piece symbolizes it's titled The Fighter, right? So when I look at that piece, I see a mother and a daughter. So it's kind of like the daughter is rebelling against the mother or standing up for herself against what the mother is saying. So for me, it's very personal. When I looked at the piece, it reminded me of myself and my mother. So, so my story is long, but I'll try to make it short. So, growing up in a family, in a religious family, so I was still in high school at the time, I grew up under the rules of the house, and I did everything according to the rules of the house. So when I came to university or varsity, I got exposed to a lot of things, So I found myself, I discovered myself. So when I looked at that piece, it reminded me of my mom. So when I came to varsity, okay, let me just count down. Okay. Oh, so when I came to varsity, I discovered myself. So I went out of, I don't want to mention names of the religion or what, because it's a sensitive topic, I believe. So I started learning about African consciousness. So I went out of religion. And then when I went back home, so I started being conscious, started having natural hair, started going vegan. So basically my lifestyle changed. So when I got home, my mom got freaked out. Like, what? What is this? Why do you have like natural hair? Why are you being vegan all of a sudden? So I had to explain to her that, this is me now. This is what my spirit resonates with. So it became a challenge, and we're still fighting that challenge now. So that piece, as you can see, that there's a barrier between the mother and the daughter. So there was a barrier between me and my mom because of our belief systems, so they're different. But what I would like to highlight with that piece is that even though, because people have differences, even though I might be different from my mom, it doesn't change the fact that I still love her. And a lot of people are different from me and they don't have the same belief system. It doesn't change the fact that they're human beings. So I should still love them and treat them as human, even if we believe like different things. So yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Sure, thank you so much. My next question to you is, do you agree with my sister Litis that as the youth we need to fight for and stand for what we believe in?
Yes, I believe so. I believe that we need to fight. The struggle still continues. The struggle has not ended. We are living in times where our voices as the youth are still not heard. So I believe that by once one person makes a difference, one voice makes a difference. So if we come all together and speak up as the youth, then that might cause a difference. We still need to fight till yeah, till the struggle ends.
Thank you so much to both of you, my beautiful ladies. Coming this side, we are coming to our sister, Gogo Khanyisa. There is a piece by Albert Ndlovu. It's titled Twasa here at the museum. So my question to you is, do you think that as the youth of today, since in our history, our colonizers, they displayed our African spirituality as negative and I would say scary, and so do you think as the youth of today, we fear something that we don't know?
Look, that question is very broad. You can break it down to a lot of things, but I'm going to keep it very short. As we youth young women, we are very clueless. We are scared, as you say, of something like we do not know. And the reason why we become scared is because I'm going to take it home. A kaya, school and a Christian family. Forgetting that we need to do our sin. You run away from it. So if you do not do all those things, every day it comes to you. The job, I need to soak up those things will go and, you know? So it becomes a problem, especially as you nowadays. As a young. And if you do not know where you're going, it becomes a problem because you are going to roam around streets and not know where you're going, you know? So that's why I'm saying you can break it down to a lot of things. I am also worried about the things that we see on TV now about in media. I think with youth, we look up to a lot of people that we're not supposed to be. We read things that we read, but we don't understand why we're reading this. We see for the sake of seeing, but we do not open the third eye. Why are we watching this? A lot of people have sold these songs, but we look up to certain people, forgetting that we need to go. So you go do. Go home. You know? I don't know if I've answered your question.
You have answered. Thank you. That was Gogo Khanyisa. And my next question to you is, do you think the youth of today is curious enough about African spirituality?
It's a 50-50 thing. It goes back to what I said. In Kaya, a lot of people are Christians, Muslims, and forgetting that we are black people. Forgetting that we are spirit and souls inside of us. So it's a 50-50 thing, which I think schools need to have a system of teaching about what African spirituality. Umntana ona 7 must be able asked to walk. If Umntana can learn in lyrics, Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, why can't Umntana learn this things? Answer the question.
Thank you so much, Gogo Khanyisa. Uthi siqale sisebancane ukuthi masibaqale sibe. Yes. So would you say Gogo ukuthi asikho curious enough? Ukuthi siyashiyana with curiosity. Siyashiyana. Okay, wasikakhulu Gogo. Kodwa kumele basibe curious.
Be curious about where usukaphi.
Wasikakhulu. Kuzotulandelayo kuzabe Sisi Anelisa Buwa. There's a piece by Zanele Mhlodi. He's a visual activist who created this piece. It's titled Faces and Faces. Yes, like many, she has lost someone close to her. Okay, violence and discrimination against the LGBTQ plus community. Would you say, as the youth of today, we are capable to rewrite that negative stigma and that violence that is occurring even today in the LGBTQ plus community? Are we to change that as the youth of today? Do you think we can change that stigma and discrimination and violence?
Yeah. I think we can change. It's all in the mind. If someone doesn't want to change, you can't force them to change. You know, there's information, there's everything, we do everything. Like we go to schools, we emphasize what needs to be done, we provide information. You know, if you don't want to take information and apply it,
then there's no change there, okay. But we do have that power actually to change.
yeah, it's within us.
It's in us.
I mean,
It's in us, yes. We also stand against that violence against the LGBTQ plus community. I believe now that one has to choose their own life and they should live their own life according to how they want to live their lives. Yes, thank you so much. Our next performance is going to be by Sifiso Fute. Sihle Not the poet, but poetic. Can you please snap for him? Thank you.
On the same note as the previous artist, isn't it funny how pain's the main attraction? Bleeding on stage makes it seem so attractive. Wear my heart on my sleeve like it's a fashion. You can see through the puns that I package, trading sorrows to positive reactions, but showing scars for the camera's flashing isn't really letting go of the baggage, and so escaping is a way to be happy. In a world which is a system that seeks to keep our minds locked and caged, we often scorn those who seek to make an escape in venturing within through seeking for peace instead of taking their rage to the streets. Except we can see that nothing has changed. Therefore, we need to follow the path that is within instead of mocking those who claim to want peace. I was taught that 1 + 1 is equal to 2. After having done this math sum, I registered to an educational institute in order to receive a qualification to fill an empty stomach with food. These values I possessed were inscribed in my brain at school, where I was told that without a diploma or degree, I'd become a failure and a fool. But little did my teachers let me know that such content, philosophies and rules were man-made systems, structures and tools meant to design me into a sophisticated slave in suit. When I was young, I used to roam the streets like a prince who had endless possibilities and dreams. Now that I'm growing old, this world is becoming a painful part that is oh so cold and I can't seem to ditch it. For my identity has been demeaned to the mere 13 digits of an an ID number and countless of CVs that I get tired of passing around on my conquest to success, only to be met by employers who reject me out of their workplaces, leaving me burdened with stress. I never thought that things would end up like this, that my ambitions and hopes that I had as a minor would get lost and go astray like rustled leaves blown away by the autumn wind. I guess my ambitions and goals were like a magic trick from a wish, full of thinking. For they were simply just wishful thinking. Because if the economic structure is an ocean to be sailed, then this education system turned me into the Titanic ship that is sinking. For all I was ever taught was how to be an employee, how to sell myself in a CV in hopes that someone will employ me instead of me focusing and crafting my own dreams. But in fear that today becomes a distant past and my time ceases like the sands of an hourglass, the hands on my clock keep reminding me to tick mother's objectives instead of them just being talk. For life passes in an instant like tick, tock, tick, tock. So I keep watch lest I time waste till I finally ascend on stage before proud faces in order to graduate. They all begin to applaud for my achievements and celebrate. But no one is found in my depression and demise as my mind gravitates beneath someone else's feet. I am a miner, a gold digger of wealth that I never get to keep. Beneath someone else's feet, I am a slave in suit, who enriches my boss's pockets with riches that I never get to reach, only enough for me to be able to put a plate on an unstable table for my family to feed. But I guess being rock bottom bound makes sense, since I am living in the south of Africa, a democratic country that claims that we're all equal. But this rainbow nation has proven to be a fictional post-1994 sequel that tells a tale of how we have all finally tasted freedom. Freedom! What would you know about freedom? And us all being equal, when all I ever seem to see when walking in the township streets is not white privilege, but struggling dark-skinned people who are still held back by their sun-kissed skin, which sings of their parents' scars and tragic histories. Yet every time I dare to believe that I could live off a talent and a dream, familiar voices keep reminding me that dreams seem to only come alive when I'm asleep. They tell me to wake up, Noana, because this is reality, where even if your imagination soars to the sky, but your feet are still anchored by gravity, this is reality. So wake up and play the cards that life has dealt, even though life seems to be a serious dealer who only serves reality checks. Now I am stuck chasing after paychecks while my movement is limited by student loans and debts that I must somehow pay back. But I guess such difficulties and signs were only meant to signify that you were never meant to be a slave in suit, nor a victim to an oppressive system, hence you could never quite fit in. Behold, slave in suits are loosening off their shackles and are now becoming revolutionaries, soldiers, and warriors, armored with the truth. So, on the subject of escapism, I could never really blame those who seek to be sane through seeking for a means to an escape and seeking to run away from their art ways. For there's no industry for an artist, which is why it's so easy for all of us to part ways, even though this art was something we were all meant to walk hand in hand with on the same pathway. But to anyone that has stayed, this is an ode to say, salute to the starving artist who is living on the lines of the margin, even though life is the hardest, because he will only be loved when he lays cold and bodied in his coffin.
Thank you so much, Sifiso futhi. Mfana semazizipho. Siyabonga. Just to correct, there's an art piece by, it's Zanele Moholi. That is Faces and Phases. Yes, I would also like us to wear our masks, please. Thank you. My next question is going to go to, not the poet, but poetic. Yes, there's a piece by Litis. Yes, who was described a lot as an escapist. What attracted you to this piece? As an artist, what made you relate to this art piece by Litis?
So what made me relate to the piece was first learning about the history of actually when Gladys painted that beautiful picture. So it was in a time of oppression, in a time when there was still an apartheid regime. And there were also talks that why are you not fighting as an activist, or why are you not writing, why are you painting pictures that portray peace? So I actually this really resonated with me in the sense that I tried to put myself in the shoes as to, was this her running away from the fight, or was it her seeking to be saved and seeking to still within the world as opposed to being affected by what is happening outside? And actually, I think this also relates to our current generation, as my sister had said, nothing has actually changed. And through nothing changing, we can see that there's also a lot of escapism. But then the question is this escapism, or is this a generation that is trying to find themselves because there is no space for them? Like, for instance, things like alcohol and drug abuse. Are these people who are seeking for redemption in drugs, or is it because there is no place for them? So actually, these are like the type of questions that land in my mind. So I really related the picture to our current times.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sihle. Yes, the word is escapism. Yes. Consider yourself an escapist, do you?
I think I definitely have parts of me that do seek to escape. But to my defense, normally the escapism is just for me to have strength so that I can fight more. So actually, it's not really an escapism, but more venturing within. More coming in understanding that actually mindfulness is not well, mindfulness is not taken care of, and actually even my outer world, the reflection of it. So when I escape, it's only through more power so that I can come back.
Thank you so much, Sifiso Futhi. And going forward, we have our brother, Dominus Litis, who was drawn to a picture by Gogo Khanyisa. Yes, it's a beautiful picture of Umama Umariam Makeba that was taken in 1966. Can you please tell us why were you drawn to the picture?
Thank you. I was drawn to, it's because I had like a background story of Mama Miriam's story, because back in the day, artists like Mama Miriam and Prahu, they actually had to leave South Africa in order to be noticed by South Africa. They had to be activists outside of South Africa for them to actually bring change to South Africa. So I find that as artists today, we live the same struggle, but now it's being localized because as an Eastern Cape artist, I find that Gauteng dictates what is art, what is acceptable. So in order for me to be recognized by any form of institute, I have to first appear in Johannesburg or on a broadcast studio there. Then when I come back, I will be recognized by people I was actually living amongst. They didn't see my work at that time. And I also want to touch on what Gogo was saying, that we're looking up to the wrong people, because I also feel like as artists, we found new terms to suffocate the industry and suffocate the artists. There's a thing they call mainstream. You see, when you listen to mainstream music or any form of mainstream art, it's something they think is trending and is relevant, but the people they put there are not really our role models. Then you find that people who actually have a message to give to people, they say, no, this is too conscious, this is too deep, you can't play this on the radio. You're going to start making people speak, which is, it's the same thing that happened to Mama, because some of her records were banned. People had to listen in the comfort of I wouldn't even say the comfort of their own home, because they had to listen to this music and be cautious that my neighbor doesn't hear, then reports me to the police, apartheid police, that this person is listening to Miriam Makeba's music. So I feel like the struggle of the artist is so intense, but we dying in silence. Like they don't notice the artist dying. And if you look at the situation of the artist, you find that we're slowly drifting away from art. You find that other industries, they provide a form of security. Like other industries have bargaining councils, they have UIF, they have a minimum wage. You struggle to get a minimum wage from any institution, any government institution. You just struggle to get a minimum wage for one performance. They will negotiate with you as if this is a hobby. And we face a lot of that stigma, firstly, that most of the things we do as artists are things that children stop doing when they go to high school. So now when when you walk up to a person and say, no, I am a poet, you feel like, isn't this a school activity? Isn't this something you do at school? They don't take you seriously. They undermine your message. So I resonated a lot with Mama Miriam's story and her picture. I was happy to see that it is here.
Thank you so much, Dominus Litis. We are going to have a lovely performance again by our lovely sister, beautiful sister, African sister, Sinelizwi, the voice. Thank you.
Okay, so Sinelizwi. I grew up thinking that because at home I was never told that. So the second journey of finding myself and gathering information about my people, I know that I'm a Vengu, nowadays, but I'm sure there are differences as a coin. So the second journey, but when performer. Because I have to come out of my idea about so so before playing the guitar, I have to say because I believe that this is a gift that I was given. So out of my so just to get out of that, ndifuna ukwenza ingoma ethi uwadumzela xa ungena emzini wami ubonqoqoza sungena ngeshura. So if uyayazi, please follow me. Please. Okay. Uyayazi msebenzini ngibona. Kamla. Okay. Uwadumzela xa ungena emzini wami uwadumzela, xa ungena emzini wami uwadumzela, xa ungena emzini wami uwadumzela, xa ungena emzini wami ubothi molo, xa ungena emzini wami ubothi molo, xa ungena emzini wami Okay. No, but ndiphumile kula nto yoba ndifuna uphuma kuba nguSinelizwi. Okay, last year I'm a songwriter. So ndabona mosiba our women are being killed, but also men are killing themselves. And I found that as women we kind of like sibeka email city about men are trash, city kill the men and all of that. For me, it was a very personal thing about why should we kill them, even those these struggles do happen to us as a black community. And they do happen to SU communities as well. So instead of saying, like, putting that negative message of Mama Smula Leni, kill our men, Nanifono bring about the message of we need ourselves. We need each other, in fact. So I would like to call upon a brother, unknown citizen. Uzakwenza a poem to the song. So the song is entitled Vukani Mzonsundu Vukani. Two, 1, 2.